This is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the concept of the Hamsa Yoga. So friends, in Vedic astrology, there are certain planetary combinations which are coined as the Raj Yoga, which indicates like success in all avenues. Whether you talk about attainment of wealth, of power, of fame, of recognition. So those planetary yogas can push you towards the success. So out of all of those kind of yogas which can be found in Vedic astrology, specifically many astrologers give weightage to the Panch Mahapurush Yoga. So Panch Mahapurush Yoga can be translated in English as Panch means 5, Mahapurush means extraordinary person, and Yoga means planetary combination. So out of those 5 different extraordinary yogas, one of them is the Hamsa Yoga, which gets formed because of the contribution of the planet Jupiter. And as you can fairly anticipate that we all are waiting for Jupiter's transit to the Pisces sign, which will definitely form the Panch Mahapurush Yoga, the Hamsa Yoga specifically for many ascendants. So a lot of people have been asking me in the comment section. So initially I was just thinking about focusing only on the transit perspective, but then I just thought, why should I make other people be deprived of this yoga? So why not we should have an exclusive elaborative discussion on this yoga. So that is something which we will do today. So friends, to begin with, what could be the eligibility or the formation of this yoga? So this yoga can be found in the chart if you will find Jupiter to be placed in its own sign or the sign of exaltation in the angular houses or the Kendra Bhava. Oh my god, I gave you so much information. So I will start decoding it one by one. So when I say the angular house, so now angular houses are the first house, fourth house, seventh house, 10th house, which in Vedic astrology are also known as the Vishnu Sthan, Lord Vishnu, who has been worshipped as the preserver, protector, maintainer, and Lord Vishnu plays a very pivotal role in giving us the wisdom and the direction in the life. So because of which, if you will find the placement of Jupiter to begin with in these angular houses, that can be seen as a very good sign. Now friends, one more importance of the angular houses is that whenever we talk about the difference between the angular house or let's say for example the trine houses, so angular houses plays a very pivotal role in giving us the strong foundation in the life. Like the way there has been that very famous saying in Hindi, like roti kapda makan. So the food you eat, the clothes you wear, and the house you live in. So the basic necessity, the basic foundation, you need to have a good health, that is first house. You need to have a good domestic life, a family, a home, a shelter. You need to have a very loving partner, and you need to have a work, a profession, a livelihood. So all these entities exclusively get covered by the angular houses, Kendra Bhava. So they plays a very pivotal role in giving us the foundation in the life, stability in the life. Now friends, when we talk about from Jupiter's perspective, so definitely Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of wisdom, of growth. You talk on any level, whether you talk about on the material level, on like from your health perspective, whether from your education perspective, whether for wisdom perspective. So on all planes, Jupiter plays a very pivotal role, and Jupiter is the significator of the divine grace. So all the good deeds done by you, whether in this lifetime or in the past lifetime, the family you are born in, so all the good merits, all the good results of the good actions conducted by you touches us in our life, where Jupiter is specifically placed in the chart. So definitely friends, Jupiter in itself represents wisdom, expansion, optimism, hopefulness, happiness on the account of family life, on the account of your marital life, on the account of children, having prosperity, good health. So all these are the prospects which are attached with the planet Jupiter. Now definitely every planet has a affinity, and planet find itself at its home when it's going to be placed in its own sign. So Jupiter rules 2 signs, Sagittarius, Pisces, and it attains exaltation in the Cancer sign. So if you will find these 3 signs to be falling in any of the angular house, first house, fourth house, 7th house, 10th house, and Jupiter to be placed over there, that can be seen as a very good sign of attaining success in the life, being very good by heart, conducting good deeds in the society, getting recognition because of your good consulting power, and being very religious driven or minded as well. So these are the kind of notions or the significations which are generally attached with the Jupiter and with the Hamsa Yoga. Now friends, when we talk about the Hamsa Yoga, so it becomes very important because see, this is a yoga in which it's not only the sign placement but the house placement plays a very pivotal role. So I do not give a lot of emphasis on the Chalit chart, but specifically for checking the validity or the strength or true dignity of the Hamsa Yoga, you have to check the placement of Jupiter in the Chalit chart as well. Because many times what happens is that if your planet is in the very early degree of a sign of a house, or in a very late degree, many times in the Chalit chart, planet moves the houses. So you should be validating Jupiter's placement for the verification of this Hamsa Yoga in the Chalit chart as well. And friends, there are certain areas where Jupiter plays a very specific and very pivotal role. Specifically in the D9 chart, which is the chart of your matrimonial life and the chart of your religious and spiritual potential, prospects and growth. So in the D9 chart, if you will also find Jupiter to be forming a Hamsa Yoga, that can be seen as a very good sign. And if you will find Jupiter to be making a Hamsa Yoga in the D7 chart, Saptyamsa chart, which is the chart of your children, happiness on the account of progeny, so that can also be seen as a very good sign. So these are the few things, friends, which I wanted to say, just a brief introduction, the formation of this yoga, the importance of this yoga in our life. Now we will start taking up ascendant one by one, and we will try to understand that specific to this ascendant, what kind of result the Hamsa Yoga can bring in your life. You have to pay attention both from the ascendant of yours, and you can also give attention to the moon sign as well. And also friends, one more thing which I want to say over here is that specifically for the fixed signs, like which are the Taurus, Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius. So in these specific ascendants or moon signs, Jupiter's own ruled signs, Sagittarius, Pisces and the sign of exaltation Cancer does not fall in the angular houses. So these like ascendants cannot have this Hamsa Yoga. So I'm so sorry friends for that, but there are some other good yogas in your chart for sure, but now we will just focus on the Hamsa Yoga. So okay friends, now we will start first with the Aries ascendant native. So definitely friends, in your case, for all the Aries ascendant natives, Jupiter plays a very important role, because Jupiter is the ruler of your 9th house of religious austerities and 12th house of ultimate liberation. So trust me, if only Jupiter is going to be well placed in a Aries ascendant native's chart, he can attain very good success in the life, not only on a material plane but on spiritual plane as well. Because like the way we say, if 9th house is the house of divinity, where the divinity reside, so by seeking refuge in your Ishta Devta, in religious austerities, the grace of the gods, the blessings of your Ishta Devta can actually take your soul to the ultimate liberation. So that is a kind of potential or department which Jupiter plays, the role which Jupiter plays for all the Aries ascendant natives. So definitely friends, in your case, the purest of the essence or the result of the Hamsa Yoga holds the power to manifest because of the Cancer sign of exaltation of the Jupiter falling in your 4th house. So if you being a Aries ascendant native, if you will find this Hamsa Yoga taking place in your chart, so trust me friends, first of all, your domestic life is going to be blessed. You will definitely have a strong foundation in the life. Your emotions, your feelings will be governed by the thoughts and the feelings of the righteousness. And definitely your mother is definitely going to be playing a very key role, very pivotal role in your life. So it becomes very important if you have this alignment in your chart, being an Aries ascendant and carrying a Hamsa Yoga, you should always respect and listen to your mother. Like the voice of the god or the divinity will speak to you through your mother. So that is something which I can say. And yes friends, definitely all the material aspect of the 4th house as well. Good vehicle, happiness on the account of luxury vehicles, having a very good house, domestic happiness, good health, all many good results can be anticipated, experienced with this kind of placement if that is taking place in any Aries ascendant natives chart. Because friends, Jupiter is actually bringing all the divine grace and blessings right there in your heart, because it has got the rulership of your 9th house and the 12th house. So I would say that with this alignment, I will not recommend someone to be moving abroad, because there are certain alignments, like I am also an Aries ascendant, but in my case my ascendant lord is strong in the like 8th house with the involvement of Saturn and Mars. So that in itself is a combination of getting success in far away from birthplace. But with this kind of alignment within your domestic life or your place of birth, you can actually attain very good success. Whatsoever business you will start, you can take it internationally and can open branches on so many different levels. So yes friends, this combination for the Aries ascendant native is going to be manifesting very beautiful results. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Gemini ascendant natives, so friends, in your case Jupiter can form a Hamsa Yoga either in your 7th house or in your 10th house. So friends, over here do not get confused with the Kendrapati dosha. That is a separate topic which we will discuss over there. But trust me, individually Jupiter's placement in these two houses can actually connect you with lot many opportunities. Because friends, whenever we talk about anything to do with the 7th house or the 10th house, it has everything to do with your public life. So if you actually want to succeed in any occupation, profession where there has a lot to do with the masses or mass dealing, you can actually attain success in all of those fields, like becoming a publisher, becoming a writer, becoming an author, becoming a politician, becoming an actor. So with this kind of placement, you can attain success in all so many different avenues. Now friends, let's say for example, if you will find Jupiter to be placed in the 7th house, it can actually bless you with a very good matrimonial life. It can actually bless you with very good partner. And many times friends, whenever we talk about the 7th house, so 7th house tells about when people, like what kind of relation you are going to have within the world. So you could be among those people who will be respected because of your good consulting power, because of your good intentions. You might have a very religious, very righteous, very well protected public image. So from all of those perspectives, this placement can be seen as a good sign. Now friends, if you will find Jupiter to be placed in your 10th house, so definitely friends, this just tells about that you are definitely going to be a giver when it comes down to your professional life. So like you could be among those people on whom everyone can bank upon. Everyone can have complete full trust on your abilities. And definitely friends, Jupiter is the significator of all sort of opportunities and expansion. So with this kind of placement, Jupiter will definitely bless you with lot many opportunities as well. Now friends, moving ahead, now let's say for example for all the Cancer ascendant natives, so definitely friends, if you will find Jupiter to be exalted right over there in your 1st house, that can be seen as a very good sign. Now friends, when we talk about Jupiter's placement in the 1st house, many times what happen is that if its degree is going to be very strongly conjunct with your ascendant degrees, then in those kind of scenarios it might give concerns of the thyroid related issue, liver related issue, or weight gain, body fat. So that is the one thing where you have to work on. But apart from that, and the second vulnerable aspect could be too much of the self-importance. Only if you can work on that, this is a very good placement for success, for recognition, for name, fame, lot many opportunities, being on the right path, getting the help from the mentors, right set of advisors. And when you have these kind of specific alignments, any prayers, any worship, any religious austerity done by you will definitely manifest results in a very quick paced way. So for all the prospects of recognition, name, fame, enjoying good health, this prospect and this placement of Jupiter can be seen as a very good sign. Having a Hamsa Yoga right over there in your 1st house, it is definitely going to make your personality very confident, very hopeful, very optimistic. So you will be among those people who will always be progressive in the life. So for you, it's not about just attainment of one position. Once you have met one of the targets set by you, you will definitely be eyeing or striving for something else. So a progressive life, a life filled with the righteousness and divinity. So that is how this yoga for the Cancer ascendant is going to be manifesting results. Moving ahead friends, Now for all the Virgo ascendant natives, so definitely friends, in your case, Jupiter, if you will find to be well placed in the fourth house, which tells about our domestic life, which tells about the kind of feelings or emotions which govern us, how we are deep from inside. I still remember, reading that quote, that earthly things should be known to be loved, but divine things should be loved to be known. So definitely friends, with this kind of alignment, your domestic life is definitely going to be well protected, well guarded, all the matters of the domestic life. So trust me, if you're going to marry someone who's going to have Jupiter to be placed in the fourth house, well placed, she will definitely prove to be a very good life partner for you. And also friends, like with this kind of alignment, because Jupiter is the significator of blessings, grace and opportunities and expansion. So even if you are gonna make a profession in anything to do with the maternal products or agriculture, dairy products or construction, real estate, this placement of Jupiter will definitely help you, or the divine grace will put you on the right path. Now friends, if you are going to find the placement of Jupiter in the 7th house making a Hamsa Yoga for a Virgo ascendant, so definitely friends, I have mentioned this thing so many times, like when we talk about the 7th house, it has everything to do with the dealing with the masses. So with this kind of alignment, you can become a very good business person, you can be a very good politician, you can be a very good actor. So your relationship with the masses is definitely going to be very kind, very nurturing, because many times what happens is that if you will find 7th house to be afflicted, and if you are a politician, people might not take you seriously, or you might not be able to exert a right influence in the world. But with this kind of alignment, you hold this power and potential to influence the masses with your right intentions and with your right behavior. So definitely friends, all the 7th house related matters will help you. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Libra ascendant natives, so definitely friends, in your case, Jupiter is going to make a Hamsa Yoga in your 10th house, which can be seen as a very good sign. So friends, in your case, Jupiter has got the rulership of your 3rd house and the 6th house. So one vulnerability could be that the nature of work or your line of work might expect a lot out of you. So like among those people, you must have seen that just because they have the strong potential, they have proven themselves, so everyone has trust on them, and because of which they are always surrounded and loaded with the additional responsibilities. But again friends, for the attainment of position, power and success, this placement of Jupiter being exalted in your 10th house can be seen as a very good sign. The beauty of this yoga over here is that friends, like when we talk about the expansion and growth in the life, so this placement actually give lot many opportunities for keeping you progressive in the life. So lot many opportunities, and the good part over here is that your public image is always going to be protected. And with this kind of alignment, the best remedy for a Libra ascendant with having a Hamsa Yoga in the 10th house is that whatsoever money you are making, whatsoever you are doing, first of all, your actions in the society should be very ethical, should be very righteous. And if you are in that state, that whatsoever money you have made, if you even want to do some charities or you want to put that money for some right causes and reasons, so do something pertaining to or connected with the religion, with the gods, with the divinity. So that is how your 10th house Jupiter is going to gain more and more strength. So for anything to do with the politics, with the administration, teaching, all those people with this kind of alignment, I have seen so many charts of all those people who have a lot many coaching institutes, they have lot many chain of schools in different cities, in different countries. So that kind of a success, this alignment, because guys, you have to understand this thing, specifically for the Taurus and the Libra ascendants, they have this upper edge that the Yoga Karaka planet is Saturn. Saturn in itself, which represents doing things on a very bigger, massive and grand scale. And with this kind of alignment, your 10th house being very much protected, and Jupiter, which is like very generous in the form of giving opportunities and access to lot many successful opportunities. So definitely friends, this can be seen as a very good sign, and someone who's going to have this combination. And along with that, if you're going to find the Yoga Karaka planet Saturn or the ascendant lord Venus to be well placed, and with that, if native will run into the dasha of the Jupiter at the prime of his life, trust me, he can be on the top of his chosen field. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Sagittarius ascendant natives, so friends, in your case, Jupiter can form a Hamsa Yoga either on your 1st house or on the 4th house. So this can be seen as a very good sign friends, when we talk about the matters of the first house, which has everything to do with your public image, with your potential, with your confidence. So Jupiter, which in itself is a significator of giving us opportunities and making us optimistic in the face of any difficulty. So definitely friends, this is going to make the native very progressive, always looking at the brighter and bigger side of the life. The only one area of vulnerability is that if Jupiter is going to be strongly conjunct with your Lagan, your ascendant degrees, you have to give attention to your weight gain, concerns of liver and thyroid. Only if you are well protected in that area. So trust me friends, Jupiter being grounded and rooted in its own house in the ascendant is going to make your personality very potent and with lot of potential. And definitely, even if you are going to make your profession or career in anything to do with the Jupiterian field, where we talk about finance, banking, teaching, anything to do with religion, so this placement of Jupiter in the first house can actually help you succeed in any avenue of the life. The beauty of this placement is that it is definitely going to keep the native firm on the right path. And friends, if you're going to find the Jupiter to be in the fourth house, so definitely friends, all the domestic life matters are going to be divine blessed. Like fourth house, which has everything to do with our emotions, our feelings, our domestic life. So all the fourth house related matters will be divine protected. And along with that friends, even if your nature or line of work involves the fourth house related entities, like dealing with the or working on the maternity related products, or dealing with children, or agriculture, dairy, farming, construction, hotels, restaurant. So this placement of Jupiter being well placed in the fourth house is going to give you success, lot many opportunities in these avenues. And like the way friends, when we talk about the fourth house, this is the house of our foundation, and this is the house which tells about the kind of feelings or emotions which govern us. So deep inside, native is going to be very compassionate, very forgiving, very charitable. So native will definitely manifest the purest and the best of the qualities of the Jupiter if you will find it to be placed over here. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Capricorn ascendant natives. So friends, in your case, Jupiter can make Hamsa Yoga in your 7th house, which can be seen as a very good sign. So friends, like the way I have already mentioned this thing, 7th house has everything to do with our engagement, our dealing with the masses. So Jupiter exalted in the 7th house, first of all, this is going to bless you with a very good partner, a partner who is going to manifest very virtuous, very right set of qualities and traits. Even in the matters of partnership, this placement is going to bless you with lot many opportunities, very positive, very encouraging, very motivating business partners. And also friends, anything to do with the masses, because the kind of relationship you hold with the masses is something which we get to know from the 7th house assessment. First house is just what people get once they look at you. 7th house is all about the public's connection with you. It's not about the impression which you are giving, it's about the way people connect with you. So I would say friends that with this kind of alignment, people will look forward to you, that someone who is very righteous, someone who might have a good consulting power, someone who is very divine blessed, he is on the right path. So that is the kind of impression, or that is the kind of relationship which you will share with the world. And friends, for anything to do with the masses or mass media related field, whether becoming a politician, becoming an actor, becoming a successful business person, this placement is definitely going to help you, support you, and you will remain lucky in attracting very fortunate partners even in the relationship. And lastly friends, if you want to understand it for all the Pisces ascendant natives, so definitely friends, if you will find Jupiter to be placed in the first house, that is a very good sign. The energy of Pisces is all about compassion, it's all about transcendental wisdom and knowledge. You can only be forward moving in your path if you have the capacity to let go of all the trauma, all the chaos, all the wounds of the past. Like the way we say this thing, either you can be a slave of the past or you can be a master of the future. So with this kind of placement and Jupiter to be well placed and dignified in the first house, so friends, when we talk about specifically from the Pisces perspective, this is not only a sign which includes the religious flavors, but it also includes very spiritual, liberating and very consciously aware potential and traces as well. So Jupiter with well placed in the first house will definitely, this is the kind of aura and impression which you will give to people. And let's say for example, if you will make your profession and your livelihood, you become a symbol and you represent or you work in a field which is connected with the Jupiter, anything to do with teaching, with preaching, with anything to do with religious guidance, banking, finance, so you can actually attain success with this kind of placement. Jupiter being very dignified, very well placed in your first house, your overall life is going to be well guarded, well protected by the Jupiterian qualities. The only thing is that the same thing which I say all the time, that if Jupiter is going to be strongly conjunct and closely conjunct with your ascendant degrees, then in those kind of cases you have to give attention to the prospects of your weight gain or liver or body fat related concerns. Moving ahead, friends, now if you will lastly find Jupiter to be well placed in the 10th house for a Pisces ascendant native, so definitely, friends, this can be seen as a very good sign. Jupiter to be well placed in the 10th house, it is definitely going to give you a good connection with people of authority. So whatsoever your line of work is going to be, with the bosses, with the partners, with the colleagues, subordinates, Jupiter is going to give you good righteous connection with all these people. You will have this potential to attract all those people or work in an environment which is going to be very supporting, which is going to be very encouraging, which is going to be very motivating. And lastly, friends, as you know this thing that 10th house also tells about, even if you will keep aside the profession, 10th house just tells about the nature of our actions. So with this kind of placement, Jupiter being your ascendant lord as well, and in the 10th house it is going to be making a Hamsa Yoga, so it is definitely going to keep you on the right path. Your actions will be well divine protected, pushing you in the path of your spiritual, material and religious progress, soul progress only. So that is something, friends, which I wanted to say in short about the results of the Hamsa Yoga, one of the important Panch Mahapurush Yoga. After this video, as you know that Saturn is also transiting in its own sign only, so I will be next making a Shash Yoga from the perspective of the Saturn as one of the contributing factor in this Panch Mahapurush Yoga. So friends, for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.